Welcome to the Insurance Agents and Brokers Podcast. Hello, my name is Megan Fioretta, and I'm the brand manager here at IA&B. This is the audio version of the Coverage Corner column from the April 2024 Primary Agent magazine. It is entitled Auto Policy Racing Exclusions by Bill Wilson. In the last issue, we answered the question, who needs an umbrella policy? At the end of the column, I mentioned that the majority of umbrella claims originate from auto accidents. There have been a number of high-profile, quote, celebrity auto accidents. One that comes to mind and is relevant to this discussion involves the family of professional wrestling, or as we insurance columnists here in the South say, wrastlin' legend Hulk Hogan, whose real name is Terry Bollea. In 2007, his 17-year-old son, Nick Bollea, was involved in an auto accident that resulted in a permanent brain injury to his passenger. Bollea was allegedly street racing another vehicle when he lost control of his father's car. According to news accounts, the Bollea family's sole source of insurance recovery was $500,000 under his auto policy, so he sued his insurance agent for failing to provide umbrella insurance. In a motion to dismiss the case, his agent provided evidence that the umbrella coverage was offered, but declined on several occasions, including just 4 days before the accident. As an aside, it's easy to see why all those E&O classes you've attended recommend always offering broader essential coverages and documenting declinations of those offers. In this issue's column is, do personal auto policies cover liability claims arising from racing? The answer is what you might expect. It depends. It depends on the circumstances and facts of the accident and on what the policy form says, given that, despite what consumers might gather from industry advertising, auto insurance is not a commodity differentiated only by price. Let's examine the wording in 3 different personal auto policies. First, ISO's personal auto policy excludes any vehicle located inside a facility designed for racing for the purpose of competing in or practicing or preparing for any prearranged or organized racing or speed contest. Note that this racing exclusion applies only while the vehicle is, quote, inside a facility designed for racing, unquote. Since the Bollea family had auto liability coverage that responded to the claim, presumably the racing exclusion, if that was an issue, might have been comparable to this language, and so the exclusion did not apply. Second, a non-ISO insurer's propriety policy excludes covered autos while used in any professional or organized racing or demolition contest or stunting activity, or while practicing for such contest or activity. This insurance also does not apply while that covered auto is being prepared for such a contest or activity. Note that the racing exclusion doesn't require that the auto be inside a facility designed for racing. However, the race must be professional or, quote, organized, whatever that term might mean. Typically, street racing doesn't fall into this category, so the Bollea policy could have been similar to this wording such that there was coverage. Third, a form mandated at the time in North Carolina excluded any vehicle while participating in any prearranged, organized, or spontaneous racing contest, speed contest, demolition, stunt activity. Note that the exclusion applies even to spontaneous racing, such as most street racing and exposure for more common organized racing events. Since the policy in force responded to the claim, it is unlikely that the racing exclusion was this restrictive. This illustrates that when you're assisting a customer in choosing a policy, coverage differences are material. Is a vehicle being insured a high-performance model? Are they youthful drivers? Are there drivers with speeding violations? Answers to questions like these could be material to the insured's decision on which policy is most appropriate for their unique potential loss exposures. This type of exclusion alone debunks the premise so often put forth in consumer articles about saving money on car insurance that you need to compare apples to apples. What they mean is compare the same basic coverages at the same limits or deductibles. However, we know that this tells you very little about the actual policy language or how it might be applied to the facts and circumstances of each accident. Finally, I'll leave you with some words of advice you can pass along to your customers from the 19th century English philosopher and writer John Ruskin. There is hardly anything in the world that some man cannot make a little worse and sell a little cheaper, and the people who consider price only are this man's lawful prey. Written by Bill Wilson, CPCU, ARM, AIM, AAM, is the founder and CEO of InsuranceCommentary.com and the author of 7 books including When Worlds Collide, Resolving Insurance Coverage and Claims Disputes. He can be reached at bill@InsuranceCommentary.com. If you would like to explore how coverage may be found or excluded for vehicles, equipment, and other stuff that moves, please visit iabforme.com/education for a listing of our upcoming live CE webinars. Thank you for listening.
Insurance Agents and Brokers is the premier resource and champion for independent insurance agencies in Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Delaware. For more information, visit iabforme.com.